Hi, my name is Ryan Gate, and today I'm going to be talking you through my proposal for my third and final year extended project. For this project, I'm proposing to carry out research in the style of a dissertation. This is due to me having no initial ideas or well thought through plans which I could pursue as a business plan. Furthermore, I've also no existing contacts within the sporting world, therefore I feel I could be putting myself at a disadvantage by trying to pursue a consultancy. With this being said, my main reason for wanting to pursue a dissertation is due to my long-standing interest in economics, sport economics specifically. Given these interests, I signed up with Miranda, who has a background in economics itself, and therefore I felt he could offer me the best expertise and guidance possible out of the other tutors available. After completion of the sign-up process, me and my supervisor had discussions regarding the topic I would like to explore, and both came to the conclusion that dissertation would be the most appropriate style for me to carry out this research. Evidence of these discussions can be found in Appendix A. My proposed title for this study is Winning the World Cup and Competitive Balance. In the next part of the presentation, I'm going to explore the aims of this research, as well as go into details around the methodology that will be used to support the discussions. The whole premise and primary aim of this research is to find out whether having more competitively balanced domestic leagues influences a nation's progress and success within international competitions such as the World Cup. This research will also explore how league structures may adapt to increase their chances of global success, given the findings may support by having highly competitive leagues, they could in fact increase their chance of global success, and therefore this could be something they're pushed to do if global success is something they're in search of. In addition, this research study will also aim to use a variety of formulas to analyse the competition of different leagues, for example the C5 index of competitive balance, as well as standard deviation. The hypothesis for this study is that the World Cup winning nation's domestic first league, for example the Premier League in English football, will have low competitive balance due to the top clubs in that division housing the world's best players. This will be reflected on throughout the dissertation, and the data from the study to add validation to this hypothesis, proving whether there is any truth behind this theory. In order to do this successfully, the study will initially discover who won the World Cup between 2002 and 2022, the period of time this dissertation will assess. It will also discover any trends in competitive balance, finding out whether there is high or low competitive balance in the World Cup winning nations' domestic football leagues. To add further validation to this study, it will also discover whether any nation has won the World Cup more than once between 2002 and 2022. If there is any variation in their competitive balance at the time when they found success in the World Cup will be analysed to support the findings of this study. In a nutshell, competitive balance is keeping sports fair, and practices to achieve this can be seen all over sports worldwide today. This ideology was first introduced by Simon Rotterberg in 1956, who is, if not one of the first professors in economics in sport. He publicised this idea of competitive balance in the journal, the Baseball Players' Labour Market, Journal of Political Economy. From this point onwards, the importance of competitive balance has been recognised by key theorists such as Rodney Fort, who in the book International Sports Economics Comparisons stated alongside Faisal that in pro leagues nothing is more important than competitive balance. In 2004, Papanikos also reinstated the importance of competitive balance. This was done using Rotterberg's hypothesis regarding the uncertainty of outcome, suggesting how competitive balance can play a large role in the profits of sports organisations. Rotterberg's hypothesis suggested how, when there is a high uncertainty of outcome, the interest in that event also increases. Papanikos used this hypothesis to suggest how by increasing competitive balance, the interest in that game would also increase. As a result, attendances would become greater, which would have a direct impact on the profits of those sports organisations. To build on this, the importance of competitive balance could be argued through the practices which I alluded to earlier, where I suggested how attempts in keeping sport fair can be seen all around the world today. For example, the Premier League uses financial fair play restrictions, as well as sharing broadcasting profits, all in aid of keeping the league fair. In lots of ways, competitive balance has been used to inform discussion, and many studies have been carried out applying the theory to the real world of sport. For example, published in the Journal of Sports Economics, Sanderson and Seidfried in 2003 explored the implications of competitive balance in baseball in the late 90s. This was due to what could be deemed as an imbalance in quality and fairness, given the results of the baseball fixtures towards the end of the 1990s. More specifically to the area in which my dissertation will explore, Zeng, as well as others, in 2018, in the Journal of Sports Sciences, applied competitive balance to explore trends in the accolades and success in men's and women's table tennis between the years 1998 and 2016. Similar to my proposed research project, in this study they analysed the global competitions and results over a series of years. As a way of analysing their findings, they used the HHI as a way of indicating the performance of men's and women's table tennis over these years. Similarly, Sedgwick and others in 2009 also used the HHI as a way of assessing competitive balance, using the results to indicate the performance of football teams over a 60-year period between 1948 to 2008. As a result, over this time frame, their research discovered that competitive balance had decreased. Whilst these studies have not necessarily examined the same sports or competitions as my study, they have used the same key concepts and formulas to add validations to their findings, supporting the research I will be wishing to carry out. In the next section of this presentation, I will discuss the methodology which will be used to carry out my research project. In conducting this dissertation, secondary quantitative data will be used to support the findings of the study. Due to the black and white nature of the data required for this study, secondary quantitative data is the most appropriate. This methodology was reinforced by the discussion I had with my tutor and the types of research he had used previously to carry out his prior research studies. This does not penalise the study, as whilst there is no primary or qualitative data, secondary data offers large sample sizes, increasing the validity of the findings. Due to the premise of the study being factual and numerical, opinion would have no value in this research, therefore qualitative data is not required. Given I am also analysing events which have already happened previously, primary data would also not be applicable in this study. To actually carry out this methodology, the World Cup winners would be identified between the years 2002 and 2022, offering a data sample collected from 20 years worth of fixtures, reinforcing the validity and credibility of the findings of the research. After the winners have been identified, the prior 4 seasons' match results, the time between each tournament, would then be recorded for the winners' primary domestic leagues. For example, every result from the Argentine Primera Division, which is Argentina's top league, from the 2018 season to the season leading up to their World Cup win in 2022. This information will be collected using online databases. This data will then be inputted into an Excel spreadsheet where formulas such as standard deviation, C5 index, and the C5 index of competitive balance can be used to accurately and efficiently add numerical value to the competitive balance of these leagues. Using relevant literature, as well as commendable theorists, the results from these formulas will use to form discussion regarding the influence competitive balance has on success within global competitions within football, such as the FIFA World Cup.